since we last spoke about this issue, Theresa May, who was our Prime Minister, isn't. I can't even fucking remember now. Did she quit? Or did she just die one day out of misery? Oh no, she stood outside her house and cried because of how fucking hard this has been for her. You know what? Every conversation about the EU, every news article, every blog post, all of it should just start with this sentence. We have been offered a deal and it is the only deal available. And that helps frame some of the current nonsense that is going on. Theresa May's got this deal, which is the only deal available, and she offered it to the MPs and they said no, thank you. And then she said, okay, well then we are going to have to leave without a deal. And they said, no, definitely not. And so she quit, because what the fuck else are you going to do? We were supposed to leave in June, March? I can't remember. And now we've had an extension until Halloween, which is fitting, because this keeps me up at night. So you should find someone else you can say no to both options then. Imagine that there are 3 kids, teenagers. They're about to leave home to go to university or something. Their mum has made them a final dinner before they go off, their last meal before they head out into the world and leave. And they all have a vote on what kind of dinner they would like, and then the mum presents them with a plate of broccoli, just broccoli and nothing, and she goes, this is what I've got for you. And the kids all take a vote and they go, yeah, it's unanimous, we don't want that. And she goes, well, do you not want to have anything because you're going to be hungry and all I've got is broccoli? And they talk amongst themselves. Yeah, 3 out of 3 again. We definitely want dinner. The feedback is 100% we want dinner and we don't want broccoli. And then one of the kids goes, let's just go hungry. And the other 2 are like, no, shush, don't listen to Boris. We will have food, just not that food. Meanwhile, the mum is standing here going, look, it's getting late, and all I've got for you is fucking, do you want to eat the broccoli or not? Because you're leaving tomorrow no matter what happens. So anyway, Boris comes in and he says, look, we've got that deal, haven't we? And I reckon I can get you a better one. Which refer to my previous 2 points. And the EU have clarified this many times. They've gone, you can't.
I would confide entirely in paragraph 5b, because that is...
How would you get round what's in 5c?
I would confide entirely in paragraph 5b, which is enough for our purposes. No.
I'm going to need to, just have a yoga session after this. Oh gosh. Boris has said, right, I'm going to call a government shutdown type thing for 5 weeks, and when we come back we're just going to get on with other stuff and we'll leave the EU, we won't have a deal, whatever's fine. Everyone's like, there's protests in the streets. Oh, you can't shut down the government, you're terrible. Let me point out that the government was already scheduled to be shut down for 3 weeks, because the Conservative Party conference, the Labour Party conference and the Lib Dem Party conference happen. Why don't they all happen the same weekend? I don't fucking know. But they take a week off for each one, and all Boris has done is said, we'll just take the week before and the week after as well. Yeah, alright, there's a lot on, and it's important at this time in history to be having a government. I agree with that. Maybe all the parties can reschedule their conferences. The problem isn't Boris, the problem is that you don't want to leave with or without a deal, and we have been offered a deal, and it's like... So Parliament have come up with this brilliant plan, and it is to have a vote of no confidence in Boris Johnson. The Monday morning when Parliament resumes, which was a few days ago now, they're going to call for a vote of no confidence. Boris has only got a majority at this time of 1 MP in Parliament, so there's Conservative MPs and there's everyone else. And the Conservative MPs outnumber everyone else by 1. So if Boris wants to get anything done, if even 1 or 2 people fall out of line, then he's fucked, he can't do anything. So they go, right, we're going to call a vote of no confidence. We have 2 weeks to form an alternative government, and we're going to do a referendum or another general election or just something, because we don't like either of the 2 options of leaving with or without a deal. So we're going to try and figure out something else. Maybe we can just get the country to change their fucking minds and stay in the EU. Then they all disagree about who is going to lead the alternative government. That's not number 1 on your list of priorities right now, is it? So Jeremy Corbyn, who's the leader of the opposition, the Labour Party, they're the second biggest party, he's like, well, I'm going to lead the caretaker government because, you know, I'm the leader of the opposition, I'm in charge of the other biggest party, so that makes sense. And a bunch of other, I don't want to give him the keys to Downing Street, no thank you. All that will just show the electorate the vision of him as a prime minister. Then he's going to be more likely to win an election in the future. Well, how about the country is fucked and that's not important? Caroline Lucas, who's the one MP for the Green Party, wrote an article about how she just wanted to make a government full of women, and she's like, I'll just be the prime minister and I'll just hire loads of women, I'll have an all-women cabinet and we'll just do it for a little while and then we'll all just leave. And everyone sort of nodded and then ignored her. So anyway, that didn't happen. They didn't vote on the no confidence thing because no one could agree on who to have confidence in. So then they voted to make it illegal to leave without a deal. Like, what the fuck does that mean? So you, like, the 3 kids with the mum, we've made it illegal. Now you have to make us an alternative dinner. We cannot leave here without a dinner. Who gives a fuck? She's beyond our laws. She's the EU. If it's illegal to leave without a deal, and you're not going to get offered another deal, do you know what's going to happen? You're going to accept the deal that's already available, that you've already turned down 4 times. What else do you think? Anyway, so they've all passed this thing through because 21 Conservative MPs voted against the Conservative Party and they voted in favour of making it illegal to leave without a deal. To which Boris Johnson kicked all 21 of them out of the Conservative Party. So now they're just independent MPs. They don't represent anyone, which means that he now has a majority of -20 people. So that was a good idea. So the other thing you can do, apart from accepting the only deal that's available, is to just ask for more. Can we have more time? Just even more time, please. What are you going to do with that time? I don't know. Please. But he said, I don't want to, under no circumstances am I going to ask for another extension to the So Boris threw a shit fit and was like, oh, you're going to call for no deal, then I'm going to call a general election, let the people decide. They can have Jeremy Corbyn go to Brussels and ask for an extension or whatever. And Jeremy Corbyn went, well, no, you don't have a majority, so no, you're not going to call a general election, because if you want an election, we'll have to vote on it, and we're going to vote against you. Which is great, because it means that the Prime Minister has no power in his own parliament, and 100% failure rate so far in his time in office. But it also means that the person who has just become the Prime Minister, had like a lifelong ambition to be the Prime Minister, is now calling for an election on whether he deserves it, and the guy who's been waiting to get into power for years, Jeremy Corbyn, is going, no, you can just sit there and be Prime Minister. What a fucking world is this? So maybe there's going to be a general election. Again. Another one. We've already had one. And it didn't make things better. I hope that's helped update you on all the latest news. It hasn't. The problem with all of this is that it's making me, someone who is interested in politics, uninterested in politics. I'm a very small sample size of 1, but I can't imagine what it's doing to other people who maybe thought that it was worth having your voice heard and getting involved democratically. They just look at this ridiculous circus of bullshit and go, well, what the fuck am I going to contribute to that? I hope Theresa May's all right.